Oh no, I see where you called me 17 minutes ago.
Okay.
Oh, they do have stuff.
Right. Come on, girly. Oh, okay.
Ashley, I'm going to be y'all's captain. A few quick things that I want to make sure everybody knows. Please just remain seated this entire time. Any shifting, trying to reach out and grab stuff.
Find the hidden object.
Yeah.
So how many of us have been to the Okeefenokee before?
I have.
Perfect. Have y'all been to this location? I'm going to try out 8 foot, and she has 11 babies with her right now.
Ooh.
So I hope she's out
I do too.
today. I haven't seen her for the past 2 days. But I mean, mamas need a break every once in a while. Especially from the paparazzi whenever we've had school groups every single day this week. And y'all, we are the headwaters for the, gosh, I can't speak, St. Mary's and the Suwannee River. So we are also losing a lot of water to them. The reason why we didn't have much to begin with was because we didn't have a whole lot of a hurricane season last year. We got all the wind damage, but not much of the rain, right? So we out in that sun for too long. And so whenever it gets that hot, they tend to be in the water, right? So when we don't have any water, if I were to scoop up this water right now, it would look very similar to sweet tea, actually. And that's pretty much because it kind of is, just without all the sugar. All these leaves fall into the water and they start but with how much tannic acid is in this water, it causes it to be very, very acidic, so a lot without boiling it.
That's interesting too. There's your baby.
If you're ever, add a bug spray and you have some unscented hand sanitizer on you, sometimes that'll work even better. It will dry out your skin, forewarning, but hey, whatever keeps those yellow flies from biting me, that's all I care about. We are in the swamp. There is a lot of snakes out here. Just this morning, I saw 3 banded water snakes. So we've got a good bit of them out here. And banded water snakes and brown water snakes are the main ones that we see, which are both non-venomous. But if you like snakes, the best place to find them is actually at the little bottom of the tree, especially the cypress trees where they kind of V and there's like some pine straw on it. That's where they have been spotted. So y'all keep an eye for that. Actually almost stepped on a pygmy rattlesnake one time. I came less than a foot away. And that's why I wear boots out here.
Absolutely.
I learned that real fast.
That's why I bought the high tops.
Our alligators like to hang out. So I definitely recommend it. It's also a gorgeous place to take care
Here's
of.
one right here. Oh, right. See it? See the little one? Just a little baby.
We're just going to I will say, y'all, you are in the splash zone. I've gotten splashed like 4 times this week.
Oh, okay.
Because there's a bunch of smaller ones out, and they tend to flee more than anything whenever you go by them. And when they flee, I do want to bring attention to this moonshine still you see up here. I know whenever I had one whenever I was a kid, I found them so fascinating because it's a plant that eats bugs. Are you kidding me? That's so sick. But I had one and I could not for the life of me keep it alive to save my life, honestly. It just did not want to survive, I guess. So what I know now that I didn't know then was that they actually require so it doesn't taste very good. It's a great source of protein if you need it, but I'd rather just catch fish. But we had a boat guide a couple years ago who was dared by a group of 3rd graders to taste the inside of a hooded pitcher clam. And so he stuck his finger and he stuck it to his mouth. And he said that he could not get that taste out of his mouth for about 2 weeks. It ate away at that first layer of skin in his mouth, and it was just stuck. Kind of like eating a warhead, you know how it tears up the mouth? Look, I like to say it because I would feel bad that he was also the kind of guy that, he'd see Obadiah swimming by in the water and he'd pretend like he was going to push you in. Kind chew on it, and it would numb the area where you had a toothache. Was because other alligators can stumble upon this and actually use it if they needed to, and also other turtles and everything. Yes, ma'am?
It's nature. Mine is. Makes me question a whole lot of things now.
Right up there next to her, like how her babies are right now. So originally, I believe this batch that she has now, she had 20 to start with, and she has 11 left. Which I know that doesn't sound like great odds, but that's actually wonderful. Because by this time, we were expecting her to have maybe 5 left. So the fact that she has 11, she's doing a really good job. Seeing an 11'2" alligator running from an 8', that was a sight.
I bet.
But we actually have a pretty dark joke about our baby alligators. We call them nature's granola bars, just because every predator really wants a taste of them. And I know I said something about us getting all the wind damage, but none of the rain. Our boardwalk over here to your left is actually part of our wind damage that we got. It thought that it needed a little decoration, I guess you could say, and it added a tree down the middle of it. So we're trying to repair that right now, but what can we do? If you look into the water, you actually see
There it is. It's cute.
Mirror Lake.
Now, that's kind of annoying though, because the cheapest, easiest thing to replace survives, but none of our boardwalks do.
Yeah, it literally just needs a hammer and a nail. Just swing it back
I
up.
mean, we found it up in a tree a couple times.
Oh,
I have a bruise on my leg from going fast down here. I ran into that tree right in front of us real hard. It was not very fun. But whenever I was first learning to drive boats through here, I actually somehow got stuck on a cypress knee so bad that it took about 2 hours and 2 other boat guides to actually push me off of it.
oh my goodness. Sounds like a fun
And I know that's not something to brag about, but that's kind of impressive. You gotta admit.
It is.
Man, I was stuck.
This is a lot longer than I
I've gotten better though. For the most
Oh, I
part.
bet it's a lot
Longer
easier
trip
when
than
the
I've
water
had.
is higher.
Alrighty, there. One of
When
the
we
most
first moved here, we investigated
I
a lot
guess
of
the
stuff,
deepest
and then we
common,
didn't
you
go
could
anymore.
say, for the swamp. And that's because those cypress knees that you see all around them, they can grow about 30 feet away from the tree. Because they are part of the root system. And it was believed for the longest time that one, they provide, stability for the tree in our sandy bottom. And two, they actually provide oxygen for the tree. And that was proven last year to be true. So that's really fascinating. But they can actually grow to be 120 feet tall and 20 feet wide. And they can live up to 1,000 years. Now, as you look around, you've probably noticed, we almost made it to some fireplace. Luckily, FDR did put us into the National Wildlife Reserve back in 1937. We've been doing pretty good for ourselves ever since then. But everything you see around you is new 17 hours ago, and it had burned 4,000 acres.
Oh, I had no idea. I was thinking about the big fire like many years ago
The
from
2007?
2007.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking
that
of.
was a prairie building fire, because it took out, I believe, 20,000 acres in just 12 hours.
Yeah.
But as you guys came into the swamp, you actually saw one of our efforts to prevent a fire that bad, and that was the, just can't speak. Burning up all the dry shrubbery so that we can get a wildfire under control.
I don't know if he's turtle or a gator, to be honest with
Oh, look at him go.
you. It's a big turtle.
Yeah, nice.
Oh, that's a big guy.
It's a big one.
Hello. Make sure it doesn't get too bad, but there's not really a whole lot you can do at this point, especially with it just staying windy like it does. So, I'll just pray for us down here. But, speaking of the wildfires, that big alligator skeleton y'all saw in the gift shop, his name was Oscar. He was a real alligator that lived here, and he was actually found deceased not long after that fire was put out back in 2007. So he was about 13, a little over. Because of the wildfire, and he was just, everybody came to see Oscar, everybody knew him. you know? So we were really sad to determine that he passed due to old age. So he actually lived until he was in his 80s or 90s, it's estimated. But what a lot of people don't know about Oscar is that he was actually a movie star. So he was in all these movies that you see over here to your left. Now, in order to get Oscar to do the fun things they wanted them to do in these movies, what did they do? They fed him. And do y'all know what an alligator's favorite snack is? You think so? It's actually marshmallows.
Marshmallows.
Yeah. Alligators love the marshmallows. And one guy who fed a lot of the alligators marshmallows, I actually had the privilege of meeting him, and he is the reason I work here today. Because he came out to my elementary school, and he actually told me all about it. He brought out animals. And even though I lived here my whole life, I never realized how unique this place was and how it needs to be protected. And so, of course,
I have to watch some of these movies.
He was the best guy overall.
Swamp
He
girl.
was human, so he had to do something wrong, right? So he is actually the reason we have a lot of regulations, because he was feeding all of the wildlife. So he would feed them on boat tours and then for the movies, you know, all that good stuff. But we actually found that all these alligators, they started associating us with food. And I don't know about y'all, but a 13-foot alligator looking at me like a marshmallow,
That's not crazy.
I don't really like that very much. And then also, these alligators, they kind of just stopped hunting for themselves. They were learning helplessness. And that can cause a bunch of different problems because all these alligators were starving because they just wouldn't hunt for themselves. They wanted marshmallows.
No.
None of us? Okay.
I got a feeling
That's good.
Yeah.
Because
Spiders
underneath
under the
these two
bridge.
bridges that we're going to go under is home of the fishing spider, which can get about the size of an adult male's hand. And as the name suggests, they
my
fish.
God.
They eat minnows, but it's still really cool. They aren't harmful, and I will say they're pretty dormant right now. I haven't really seen hardly any. I've seen like 3 this year, but it is getting into their season, so we should start seeing them a whole lot more. And then those nests that y'all see on the side, those are just dirt dauber's nests. Kind of like wasps.
Wow,
just less
look
evil.
at that. Look at all those. Wow.
Nature is so impressive.
Yeah.
Also, if y'all are ever in the swamp and you look up into the trees during the summer and you see this beautiful golden gray, that is the web of a golden orb weaver, which is another spider that lives here in the swamp. Very similar to the banana spider. They are pretty scary looking, I'm not gonna lie. They have those long, lanky legs that looks like they're from a horror movie, but they're not
Can you
harmful as well, and they
imagine
pretty much
before
just stay
people
up in the
ever
trees.
settled here?
A daddy longleg? Are you talking about a granddaddy longleg spider?
Yeah.
No, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
So these, they're a lot bigger. They have a bigger body, but they also have those like long, skinny legs as well. So they also do get pretty big.
Wow.
We did have the daddy long legs.
We saw those on Monsters.
I've not seen one in years.
And of course, just after this bridge is what y'all want to see, some alligators. So this is where a lot of our alligators like to hang out because the water is a lot deeper over here. And then of course they get all that sunlight through here as well. So we should see a good bit of them basking. Let's hope they're still there.
They don't move much.
They do not. Which leads me into my second thing. I see a yellow. That's red. Oh, that's a red. It is our Pioneer Island. And it's really cool to know that that big old cabin you see in the middle is not a replica. That was an original cabin that was built in the 1800s and lived in by the Highsmith family, and there is a photo of the family on the inside. But Their descendants actually donated it to us in the 1970s because originally it was it was over in Brantley County, but we moved it over here and created this little island to show people how it was. I mean, we've redone the roof and the floors, but the rest of it, pretty much, they have like a sunset tour that they do. And you can actually see all of these water lilies close up at once. We have a lot more trails and a lot more trees, whereas theirs is a lot more open prairies like what we're on now. Well, if you guys see this grassy area, like on those sides almost, like over here to the right, we'll try to stop here for a second. If it'll let me. Well, they have a lot more of this stuff right here, and it kind of looks like flat land in some areas. But the Native Americans would actually get out and they would try to step on the flatland. They would capsize with them. And so they didn't really understand what that was, so they just made up. So yeah, if y'all are ever out kayaking and you see that, make sure you test it.
Well, they got an alligator coming up.
I got everything but him.
Two guys over here. Oh, that one's so
That
small.
one right there.
To explore on his own, but he's also still
These are
pretty
not
small.
big ones.
Ain't you a cutie? So if you measure from their nose to their eyes in inches, that's however long they are in feet.
Love to go through those houses. But that's me. I love to go through all of them.
And if y'all happen to look at these alligators and you notice that it has a tag on it, that just means that UGA caught the alligator and they did some blood work. And sometimes they'll even put a tracker on them to see how the population's doing, who they're interacting with, where they're going, and basically just make sure they're overall very healthy. And then the same thing, if you see one kind of with parts of its tail missing, it looks like it's gotten a fight with an alligator and lost. That is also them taking it and just cutting out a scoop that tells us that they were caught. That typically just means that by the time, whenever they were caught, they were just too small to actually tag. So. It's really funny because what we did learn from doing that is that a lot of these, I'll let you figure that one. Let you figure out what that means. Oh, that breeze feels lovely. And also, y'all, I do know our alpha male Obadiah that I was talking about earlier. He is out and about. I believe he was over at Oscar's Pond last time I heard him, which is a mating call because we're getting into mating season. And so he's just letting Sally know that he's available, I guess.
Camera shy.
Look at that guy.
Oh, and also the great egret is out hunting today. You almost catch something? Did you miss?
Ooh,
That's crazy.
on his back.
But yeah, no, I was walking to the boat dock one day, and I was just admiring him. Yeah, it felt a little personal.
I understand.
No doubt. Oh,
Where's the
He's
baby?
right over there, kind of. He kind of made like a little pool.
There
on
he
the
is.
pad.
What is it, a turtle?
yeah.
On the lily pad.
I love it
To
when
your
they do
left,
that.
straight ahead of you. No. A little bit to your left now. Right there.
Another yellow belly.
Yeah, I love turtles.
And y'all, as we're coming back to the dock, I do just want to give you all a really big thank you. You can tell, I kind of love this place. It is home to pretty much everybody that works here. And y'all coming out here and learning about it is how we keep it protected. I mean, think about it. It's the same way Okeefenokee Joe came and told me about it, and now I work here. So I just appreciate y'all listening to my yap session and playing I Spy with me, I guess. So thank you. And also, y'all, just please stay seated until we are fully docked. I've been known to play some bumper cars, but forewarning. And then I know it is getting pretty hot today, so I do just want to let you know in case you missed it. There are free water refill stations in the snack shack and in the gift shop, and it's cold, good water. It's not swamp water.
Doggone it.
So y'all are more than welcome for that.
Thank you. The bird came back.